Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 21, written by James Tynion IV, art by Julius Gopez. So last issue was actually the annual where Jason just left. He's like, I don't have my memory anymore, therefore I am sickened by how much of a killer I am, therefore peace. And so he's off doing his own thing. And this book opens on Roy kind of just whining about that for like 4 pages, and it's him talking. He's like expressing his inner emotions and stuff like that. He's like, oh, I really just want the three of us to all be together, and Jason running off, like it really hurts. It's something deep down. And we see that the person he's talking to is Hugo Strange, who is his therapist, and he's explaining all this stuff, and he's just like, yeah, like it's really bothering me, and it seems like there's like just a god who's just toying with me, who's just saying like, yeah, let's ruin how this one guy's life is going just over and over and over again. And Hugo's like, okay, yeah, fair enough. Tell me more about the girl, the alien girl. And he's like, oh yeah, Starfire. She was lying to me too. She was like saying how she doesn't really remember people. And if I leave, she wouldn't like remember me. But it turns out she remembers people just fine. So what's that about? And Hugo stands up and he's like, here's the thing, Roy. You've always been really trusting for people who probably don't deserve it. And that leaves you vulnerable. And that vulnerability has been taken advantage of by these so-called friends. And in the next room, Starfire's just like waiting, and she can hear all this. And he's just like, oh, shut up, you piece of crap. And then she looks out the window and sees Essence. And so she busts outside, burns away the like clothes she was wearing, and grabs Essence by the throat and is just like, why is the all cast doing this? Can you see how it is tearing apart that man? And Essence is like, I wasn't a part. I just found this out same time as you. This is just crazy to me. But what I can tell you though is that Hugo Strange sold you out. He wants the bounty that's on all of your heads, and he sold you out to assassins, and they are no joke. So good luck with that. And then she just disappears. So then we see what Jason's up to, and Jason is in the Pacific Northwest. He is still wearing his Red Hood, like mask, hood, helmet thing, despite the fact he didn't want to be that. And he is being attacked by a group of assassins. The main one here, not the main one, but the first one is Rictus, who he's like, Jason, you're riding a normal-ass motorcycle. That's weird considering all the things I taught you. And Jason's like, I have no idea what? And then Lady Shiva and Cheshire show up, and they're like, hey, Lady Shiva, you also trained Jason. Why isn't he fighting back? And Jason's like, seriously, guys, I am no idea what's going on here. Please stop attacking me. At that point, Hugo still is like breaking down Roy. He's like, Roy, you gotta listen to me. You're weak. You're pathetic. You're just going to keep on getting hurt over and over again. You have to cut off those friends. Be alone, because you're weak, once again. And then Starfire busts in, and she's just like, that's not true. You're the strongest man I've ever met. Also, that guy sold us out. Essence said so. And Roy's like, why would my therapist sell us out? That seems weird. You wouldn't do that, right, Hugo? And Hugo's like, I don't know what she's talking. She's a bad influence. And then at that point, a bunch of smoke clouds start appearing in Hugo's office, and out from them come the Untitled. You thought we were done with this, didn't you? No. So the Untitled show up, and Hugo is like freaking out. He's like, oh God, what's going on? Why are these people appearing in my office? So then we cut back over to Red Hood, and they're talking about, like, the assassins are talking about some, like, oh, maybe he's not ready. Maybe we should reconsider our offer or something like that. And Jason's like, I don't want whatever you're selling. Please go away. And he throws the hood, the helmet at them, and then shoots it, and it explodes enough for him to kind of get away. And then he's attacked by a telekinetic. I don't know specifically the powers, but their name is December Greystone, who used to go by the name of Blood Mage, and they're just throwing Jason up and down in the air with invisible puppet strings. And a voice says, like, all right, let him down. He doesn't remember anything. And it turns out it's Bronze Tiger, who, once again, as I said in the annual issue, is an actual tiger. Like, he is an anthropomorphized tiger. It's not how I remember him. But regardless, he shows up here and he's just like, hey, you used to call me Ben. We used to be friends. Anyway, December, teleport us home. And December says the line, home again, jiggity jig. And that teleports that. It's not important to the story, but you had to know that. So either way, they teleport into this place called Eth-Alth-Ebon, which is the sacred city of the League of Assassins, and where Jason's new life will begin. So anyway, back with Hugo and the team, Roy's basically chewing him out, being like, you called the Untitled? They're super evil. And Hugo's like, I still don't know what's going on. And he just runs out of the room. And then we see the leader of the Untitled, whose name is Drakkar, says like, okay, here's the thing, guys. We could totally be killing you right now, but we don't want to. We want to make a deal with you. And it's like, okay, what's the deal? And it's like, all right. The League of Assassins is going to attack us. That is a thing that's going to happen. We want to get at them first. However, their sacred city of Eth-Alth-Ebon is totally protected. Like, we can't get past it. So we need you to go there, break a few locks, and then just let us in. Also, Jason is being held in that city. So double whammy for you. You get Jason back, and we get to kill the League of Assassins. If you do this, you'll never hear from us again. And Starfire's like, no, you guys are clearly super evil. But then Roy's like, okay, but hear him out. We could get the band back together. We should, like, let's give it a shot. Let's. Yeah, I mean, if he betrays us, we just kill him then. But like, let's just see how far we can go with this. So at that point, Starfire's like, no, it's a stupid, like, I'm out. I'm not going to do that. And he's just like, oh, yeah, you're going to leave too. Everyone just leave Roy. Is that what we're doing today? And she's like, if you're being an idiot, yes. And you were very much being an idiot. So she gives him a little kiss and then says, all right, well, give me a call if it manages to work out. But I don't think it's going to work out. So bye. So at that point, he turns back to Drakkar and says, give me all your guns and weapons. And I need them now. And then we get one last shot back here at the city of League of Assassins, and Bronze Tiger transforms back into a normal person because apparently it's a talisman that eats away at his soul. So I wonder why he would even do it for such a long stretch of time when they're not fighting. But regardless, he walks Jason in and he says, you know, I'm kind of jealous of you. You don't remember the first time you saw this place. And we see this beautiful cave city with a giant statue of Ra's al Ghul in the middle. And it's like, this is what Ra's al Ghul was trying to bring to the masses. This is his vision. Isn't it beautiful? And he says, anyway, the Untitled are coming for us. We know this is happening. So we just need you to, lead us. And Jason's like, excuse me, you need me to what? He's like, oh yeah, you're our leader now. You're the leader of the League of Assassins. Good luck with that. So yeah, that's the issue. I like it. I know I gave it a hard time. The first half is kind of whatever. I didn't need the whole Hugo Strange psychotherapy plot. Like, it felt unnecessary to me. If we're going to set it up for something later, I'm a bit more intrigued, but it felt like it was kind of thrown away already. So, whatever. That being said, I really like how we're doing League of Assassins versus the Untitled. Because I thought once Scott Lobdell left this book, James Tynion was just going to throw off all of the shackles that were placed before him. But no, he's working with it. The same way that he wiped Jason's memory. He used things that were already part of the story, and he used them to tell an interesting tale. This feels like the setup to that. The League of Assassins versus the Untitled, which we already know is this ancient order of killers and monsters. So I'm down. It's an interesting idea, and we've got Jason and Roy on the two different sides of it. It's good. It's good setup. I'm looking forward to it. And that is the only time I have ever said that about this book. So it means something. In terms of ratings, art's okay. It's not my favorite style. It's a bit too inky for me, but I know some people like that. I'd say it's like a 7.5. It's a good issue. It's not, we can easily not stick the landing. It might even trip at the first step here, but the setup is something that's working for me. It's a good premise, and I want to see how it goes.